In the 90s, Playmates Toys made the deepest line of Star Trek action figures in history. My name's Keith, and I'm a collector working towards owning all 284. I've been a Trek fan for almost 35 years, and most people are sick of me talking about it. But somehow I've convinced my old friend Mike to review them with me on Look at My Star Trek Toys! What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Look at My Star Trek Toys. You get today. Look at My Star Trek Toys After Dark, which we're recording in the evening, which we
Literally
almost never
after
do.
Dark, yes.
So, of course, at this time of season, After Dark is any time after about 2:30 in the afternoon. Right. But if my brain doesn't work right, it's because I'm a morning person, not an evening person. But Mike is in rehearsals for a brand new world premiere show. So he's off being fancy. So here
Very
we are.
fancy, wearing a tuxedo, in fact.
Yes.
Which
Lottie.
sucks. I live my life avoiding formal wear in any shape or size. This one happens to be a little slim, so it's even worse.
Ooh. Yeah. Well, okay. Well, I've spent my life avoiding any specific shape or size. So
so it's a little bit late for us, but you know what? Toys in the morning, toys in the evening, toys at supper time. When toys are on the menu, Keith, you can have toys just any time.
You sure can. You sure can. And we've got some really exciting new custom figures to talk about. A new customizer has joined us, which is very exciting.
Cool.
But before we get into it, we have two little we have to do our thanking our patrons, and we have some new folks there too. And then I have a tease for something upcoming.
Okay.
But before we do that, Mike, why don't you tell us about our Patreon?
Well, Keith, we have a Patreon, which is, I think, the first thing to mention. It's at patreon.com/K&M. If you're already in there, you know what you get. But if you don't, you get bonus episodes of stuff we do. We watch the animated series of Star Trek. Sometimes we watch TNG. Sometimes we unbox other toys of other types. And if you're into Deep Space Nine, I hope you are, you can watch along with me before we review it on Wednesdays, talk about ourselves for about 17 minutes, and then by minute 18, definitely the episode will start. Don't feed the trolls, Keith. The people who've already decided to join: Brian Kaufman, Casey Clark, Cloudlover69, Jason Moe, Andrew Hayes, Jorge Navoa, and the mysterious Worf's Boot Shiv, CRM Productions, Charles Babbage, at Grim Toys, Delusions at Noon, and what's this? Who's that?
What?
Eric Wilson. Welcome to the team. Woo! We've been waiting for you, buddy. We kept a seat warm and a snack on the way. Enjoy.
Is there? I could go for a snack.
Punch and pie, I was promised. Anyway, if you want to join them, see what all the fuss is about, and become a producer on the show, it's patreon.com/K&M.
Yes, and we thank you all very much. Feel free to join, but if you can't, don't worry about it. Give us a like, give us a subscribe. Chances are, if you're watching this, you've already done that, so tell a friend.
Yeah,
tell
please.
a buddy. We really appreciate building. I was going to say, our audience, but it's really our family. It's all a bunch of friends.
Oh, Keith, did you have therapy today?
I didn't. Maybe that's why I'm looking for family.
That was so heartfelt. Okay.
No, but seriously. We're going to look at some really cool stuff, but I have one more thing to do before we do. Mike, did you know we have some new reviews coming that we're going to be doing for a new toy company?
No. Why didn't you tell me these things?
I do, but you don't remember.
That's true. Tell me all about it.
We are going to be doing some unboxing and reviews of custom 3D printed playsets, Star Trek playsets specifically built for the Playmates line by Dazbot Toys.
Okay, Dazbot. Did they send them to me? Should I go check the mail?
You shouldn't. I know. It's so funny. I told the corporate headquarters are here. But they do a whole bunch of really cool stuff, including, just as an example here, this is Picard's ready room that they have built out. It's all sectional. You can buy pieces of it or the whole thing. It's got, you can literally have the doors slide open, slide closed.
Is that, did you capture that, or was sent to you?
No, that's on their Etsy link, the link below. So you can check out their entire line of stuff.
And that's Dazbot Toys?
Dazbot Toys.
Oh, I'm so pumped.
on Etsy. They do really exciting stuff. I'm excited to get it into my hands. So coming up relatively soon, we will be doing some unboxing and reviews of a couple of their playsets. So I'm excited to get them in hand, and we'll do the whole thing. So
cool.
Look
I'm
out.
I'm excited. I'm going to join our Patreon. Wait, no, that's for everybody.
That's for everybody.
Yeah, rad.
That's for everybody. So going to be fun. So if anybody else, hey, look, you've also got a toy company, and you would like us to unbox and review it, you can email us at lookatmystartrektoys@gmail.com, or our regular K&M email, which is what, Mike? Set it up.
Out of Practice Podcast. Oh, no, that's... Oh,
No, we have a real one. Hold on. Keith and Mike Entertainment @gmail.com.
That's it. You heard here first.
Professionals. We have a Patreon. Okay, so what do you say we get into the new and exciting customs sent our way? First off, from our good friend Colin Degen. So this here is a custom Spock from the episode Assignment Earth. Now, if you remember in our last customs episode, remember the guy with the cat?
Yeah.
That was from the episode Assignment Earth, and we didn't have Kirk and Spock from Assignment Earth, but now we do. And he hadn't finished it because he hadn't figured out the wool cap yet.
Yeah.
So here is Colin's figure. Now, he explained how he made it, which is really cool. So he says, I needed Spock's wool cap for the Assignment Earth customs I was making. See photos. I used the body of a Gorman seedling, Michael McKeon, from Coneheads.
Huh.
Which is great, because I know the Coneheads line, those bodies fit the Playmates line scale. So he partially repainted to make him match more of Spock's trench coat, tie, and cap from the episode. I think it looks terrific.
Yeah, it looks cool. I love the tie. You got a nice like flow to it. Gives you some movement. He's holding the phaser in the correct position.
He's not shooting himself like you do. But yeah, I mean, it's really excellent work. You know, I think I've seen that figure used in customs before. The Michael McKeon figure, and I think it's a really, like, the original figure is great because you have so much motion and flow in that coat, but being able to adapt it so accurately to Spock here wearing the trench coat, I should ask him where he got the cap, because his wool cap there,
it looks practical,
fantastic.
right? It looks like you can take it on and off.
Yeah, no, that's a real cap. I wonder where he got it, because it matches that episode really well. So if you combine this with the other one from last week and this up and coming version of Kirk, done much
nice
the
dapper.
same, looking dapper, and also Colin's got the pot lights shooting from below. So he's lit from below, lit from above. It's it's not just about creating your customs. It's how do you display it? How do you film it? How do you shoot it? Because that makes it more awesome. But you can see here Kirk wearing his 1960s suit there, back in time. Said he used a Dixon Hill brown suit body.
Yeah.
Very simple figure. Which of course is a Picard Dixon Hill from the Next Generation line. But look, you incorporate the good props, which he has the communicator and the phaser. Looks great. He obviously repainted the shirt, and looks. I mean, it's great. Like, it's.
I wouldn't even. If you had just showed me this and with the screenshot, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's real.
Yeah, you just wouldn't know. I think. I mean, great when you have a chance to make it look seamless. It's cool when it doesn't, right? But it's also really cool. You could now put this whole lineup, do a diorama. You could do a whole episode-specific scene. Now that you have all the major characters from that episode. Really
and
cool.
something like this, it sounds to me, feels like you wouldn't want them one off, right? Like this is one where you'd want the scene with everybody, because that's how you think of it in your head, any particular episode.
Yeah, I mean, I think there are definitely episodes where I would love to do the whole cast, or or to do like an actual diorama, an actual scene. If I had like a million more dollars and a million more hours in the day, it would be really cool to do like yesterday's Enterprise one. Pick an episode where we have our heroes, but they look a little bit different, which is why yesterday's Enterprise would be a great one for it, because they're all wearing slightly different modified uniforms in the alternate universe. And they did the Yar figure from that. But I'd love to see the rest of the cast built that way. And then, built like the Enterprise C bridge, put them all on that, light it well. I've got big plans. I'm never going to do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're an ideas man, Keith.
I'm an ideas guy, right? I have to hand it off to smarter, more talented people to actually implement it. So, speaking of, so you can, so we get a better picture. We can see the back of the figure, and then the two of them together, lit up. Looks great. Looks like they're beaming. Very cool. So, speaking of smarter, more talented people, we have a new friend. We have a new friend who goes by the handle Jess T on YouTube, Jessie Tiseo, who has modified the original 2022 Con. So we have two modifications that she did from the 2022 line, improving Playmates figures. So here's what she said. Hi, this is Jess T. I go by Jess T on YouTube at Jess T. We'll see the link below. Says, I'm a huge fan of your channel. I thought I'd share some pictures of my Con custom. Didn't do any real changes, but just subtle ones, which went a long way with this figure. I decided to define the hair and took off the lipstick. So if you look at right above me here is the original figure, and then you can see what she did there, just adding definition to the hair, thus making the sculpt that was already there much more defined and much better to look at.
We talk about shading and painting all the time, and it never ceases to amaze how much of a difference a good shading or just even like a pop of color can make.
Yeah, or in this case, removing some of the extraneous color. Because he does have like this weird lipstick effect. He's like a little bit overdone, and just taking some of that off on the face, I think, improves the figure greatly. And I think with the 2022 line, we've had a couple of times where the paint job kind of detracted from the figure, and what Chris at CRM Customs did, repainting Michael Burnham. And look a couple of episodes back in our first 2022 Customs episode. You can see what Chris did. Just a flat repaint of the Michael Burnham figure completely changed the figure and made it look wildly more realistic.
Or even like a detail brush, right? It's clear that in the mass manufacturing, they just kind of get the paint on there. But when you can go in there with a fine detail brush, like the eyebrows here and the hair, like it's subtle, but it makes a world of difference.
No, it sure does.
In some cases, not so subtle, actually.
Right. And, in this case, it's subtle changes adding up to a not subtle effect. And what Jess does here, I mean, look at that. First off, I want her to take my headshots. First off.
Sure.
I could use new headshots. Those look great.
Hell, forget the headshots. Just take that and paint my face on it. I'll take it. I'll pay you for it. I need a headshot.
To paint your face onto Khan's body?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the hair is pretty close, actually, at this point.
Just want to show a little cleave in your headshots? No, but that's very well taken.
It's really well. And it was good. We needed some feminine energy up in here, Keith. That's what we need.
Seriously. Yeah. No, well, welcome. We are so glad to have you. We've got some more fun stuff from Jess here. So anyway, I think that's a vast improvement. Terrific. I think that's a big improvement. And we have another fantastic improvement.
All right.
On the Riker figure.
Oh, yeah. So not the first to say that Riker needed a helping hand.
Indeed. So Jessie says, I just finished with customizing Commander Riker. His hair was bugging me, and I tried to put up with it, but I decided to pull out my toolkit and give him his thick head of hair.
Yeah.
So this is amazing. So let's put the first Riker, right?
Pre-Rogaine,
Riker regular,
after
pre-Rogaine, and look at the detail in the little Kirk swipe in the hair.
What tool did Jessie use? Was it a Dremel or something?
I have no idea. That is well above my pay grade. But look at the detail.
Wow.
All right. Regular Riker, move over there. Wow,
that's nuts.
Look at the difference.
Yeah.
Because not only do you have the hair swipe down there, but the sculpting in the hair and the detail and the layers, you really see how much better it could have been with a slightly different sculpt. How boring his hair is on the original.
His eyes too. Like, I mean, that's not a great Riker face right there on the left.
It's not a great Riker face, but it's funny. The hair really does change the Riker of it all. Mm-hmm. And of course, we have our screenshot from the show. He's got that swipe. That's the whole thing. That is a thick, manly.
Distracted. I want to know what this trophy is. Is that like an all-state chorus trophy, or what is he posing upon?
Oh, that is a very good question. Hold on, let me see if I can see.
Let's do some sleuthing.
Yeah, it's definitely some sort of a music trophy. Did you do all-state chorus?
We did no is the answer. I was going to go down a tangent, but no.
No, I sure did.
Did me some show choir though. Pop, 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 pow.
I did lame choir. Choir, but yeah. Well, hey, can I humble brag from 1998?
Please.
No, I won the all-state vocal soloist competition.
Ooh, Keith, some would say in 1998 you was great.
I was great. I was the number one in a very, very small state. So, so stupid.
That's on the internet forever now.
It sure is. If you're looking for embarrassing things on the internet that I've said, the world is. You don't have time to track down all the embarrassing things, but it is entirely appropriate because, of course, Riker is a musician.
Keith.
Do you remember what Riker plays? We've addressed this before, Mike.
The cello?
Not the cello.
The saxophone?
Not the saxophone. Here.
No, I guess I don't know.
Well, no, use your dirty brain.
Okay.
He gets them a lot. The second half of it.
The flute?
Close. He plays the trombone.
Oh, okay. I got you.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Spit valve, baby.
Patreon.
Spit valve.
We have a Patreon, baby. Yeah, it's it. I told you, it's Star Trek Toys After Dark.
Yeah. I haven't eaten yet.
Neither have I.
Yeah, it's been a day.
It's gonna be great. Well,
but play with toys, man. What could be better?
Nothing could be better except for how Jess uses the toys and how they are displayed. Because they ride on the front of her car, which we need to take a look at the shuttlecraft here. This is the car.
Oh.
How friggin' cool is that?
That's rad. That's really cool.
Driving it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I am so envious having parked in Queens for 20 years. Like, can you imagine? Because we both did. Like how easy that would be to park.
But I feel like that's like even smaller than a normal mini car, right? Because that looks like it's got bike handles in there. Go back to picture. That's like bike handles. Yes,
it does.
Is that?
It does.
Wow.
I have so many. All right.
I need. Where's
Jess?
Jess?
We have many more questions. We need to know much more about the shuttlecraft.
We kind of want to know everything about you. Not creepy. I don't mean that. I need to know what that car is all about. I need to know. How
did you do the figures? How did you do the hair?
Toys, the figures, right? Who's that hanging on stage left?
That's Data. That I believe that's one of the Mego Datas.
Oh, okay.
Not a Playmates Data. Anyway, super cool. Welcome to the family, and really terrific work.
We talked about, Keith, we had talked about, I think last week. Yeah, somebody had taken a picture. I have something for like dioramas of figures, but outside of realistic scale. So this is kind of I like the posing here.
Yeah.
I like it.
It's
them taking pride of place somewhere other than Star Trek
Well,
universe.
and I tell you what, if I'm walking to the parking lot, I see that car, I'm like, this person is my friend.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
and then
we are
that
100%,
person who is your friend is like, hey, stranger, get away from my car.
get away from, stop staring at my car. Yes, that I get that a lot too. So anyway, so before we dig ourselves further in, let us take a look at one more fantastic figure from, speaking of amazing paint jobs, our good friend George Alexandris, who sent us an upgraded Mendon figure.
That's the underwater one, right?
That is, well, he's not necessarily underwater, but he's the one who uses the vape for moisture.
Right. Yes, some sort of breathing apparatus.
Some sort of the breathing apparatus. So this is fascinating because they did not make this figure, because there's two of them played by the same actor in the same getup, but they're different characters. One of them is in Starfleet, one of them is not. So they made the one not in Starfleet. And so George made this one, the Benzite, in Starfleet, completely from scratch. In fact, I was not a better podcaster and didn't grab the original. Mike, talk for a second. Let me grab the original so we can see these two together.
Well, folks, welcome to Keith and Mike After Dark, where Keith and Mike are tired, but they're still doing what they do. I was looking forward to on the drive home today. I was looking forward to. I knew we would get to hang out with y'all, so I'm glad to be here. Thanks if you've joined the Patreon. If not, not a biggie. Thanks for just being here. Give a like, give a subscribe, and check out some of our other videos. If you haven't watched the Deep Space Nine show, check it out. If you haven't watched K&M Geekly, give it a view. It's just more of us chatting. So thanks for being here. We appreciate your eyeballs.
Okay, well, speaking of eyeballs, this is the figure that they did make, which you can see. There
we go.
You can't really see because this doesn't autofocus. But just how much George has improved on this figure with the paint job alone.
Yeah, the detailing is great.
They did a rough paint job of him on the original figure, but what George has done here is added this metallic sheen and extra details to it, and moved the breathing apparatus down so you can actually see his face on this, which looks fantastic. So let's take another couple looks at the side. There it is from the side. He's done his typical complete repaint with the matte painting of all of the rest of the figure's body, and we can see here the back. Hey, there's no copyright on the back. Oh, that's the 2022 ones. But
Keith, I'm coming in hot here. I got you.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so you can see here in your little mic box. And Mike's gonna do this in post and make it all look great.
Yep.
But you can really see just how much George has improved the paint job on the face and hands. It's really quite cool.
Yeah, that's
and
rad.
Matches really well what's actually on screen, because there is that flecks of gold and the extra detailing around the mouth, which is sort of buried in the original figure because his chest vape is way high in that. So here's what he said. He said it's a data body, and swapped out the legs with the Benzite figure, the original one. I also cut the device on his chest and added real piping to make it a bit longer. The Playmates one was a bit shorter. Full repaint, of course, and I used a gloss finish for the head.
Yeah,
and
the juxtaposition between the gloss and the matte is cool.
The gloss. Well, here's where he switched it, right? Because the uniform is usually gloss, and then the heads are matte. This time he used gloss on the head because he has a glossy head, and then matte at the uniform. So he actually swapped it. And so if we look on the screen here, we can see some work in progress, which I love when George sends work in progress, because it helps me figure out how these things work. And so here's the disassembled chest vape that he pulled off, and I'm assuming repainted. And there's the data body, and he's changing
That's
it.
Cool, man. That's so cool.
Oh, I mean, it's crazy. And extending, he's got the zipper down the front, which the original figure never did. But this is a season 2. Season 2. So this is still the season 2 uniforms. But he always traditionally adds the zipper down the front, which they had to drill a hole to put the chest vape in. And it all comes together, and you've got yourself a really fantastic figure. Hold on, we gotta go back to it. I mean, as always, his work is flawless, and it's a marked improvement on the original figure, which is weird. I always wondered why they didn't make the Federation Benzite and why they made the one from season 1, because, well, I guess probably to help people like you who don't want yet another figure in a Federation uniform. But for me, give me the one in the Federation uniform.
It's a cooler look for the character, because his other jacket was kind of like, I mean, I guess it's all right.
It's not the coolest. Well, it's very 90s, even though this was done in the 80s. Season 2 was still in the 80s. Anyway, so more fantastic work from George. We thank everybody for doing this and for sending in your custom figures. If you would like to send more, you can send them to lookatmystartrektoys@gmail.com. It may take us a while to get to them, but we will. I see them all. I'm excited to see them all and excited to talk about them. So if you're going to send them, definitely take as a high quality picture as you can, and the more details you can give us about how you did it, the better. Yeah. I love telling about, if you have work in progress pictures, that's a bonus as well. We're also collecting pictures that people might take of the figures in the wild. You want to do dioramas, you want to do more of the displays and stands. We'd love to show more of those as well.
Or any movies you've made. Have you made a Star Trek fan film when you were a kid, or a grown-up for that matter? We, as part of our other channel, maybe it's this channel or our page, I can't remember where we do it, but a lot of times we'll watch those videos and kind of talk about them and have a good time with it. So if you want to share, please share. We're just all having a yuck time.
We're having a yum time, buddy.
Oh, well, it's like a yuck. I don't know. I've been doing a show. It takes like in the 30s, so I have a mindset right now.
Well, that's on the internet now too. So yes, indeed. Well, before we go, I wanted to give a little shout out to a benefit being set up by one of my friends, Kristen Marie Veronica, who has just a little intro video on how you can participate and help be part of this multiverse benefit. And you might see a familiar Star Trek folk here in the ad. So check this out, and we will see you next time with another episode of Look at My Star Trek Toys.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is a virtual fandom jamboree and a charity fundraiser all rolled into one package. We're not just raising funds for a good cause, we're raising fun. Our 2023 event will be supporting the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health, which exists to spread awareness of aortic health and prevent unnecessary suffering through genetic research, widespread education, and radical advocacy. Our fundraiser combines celebrity panels, fandom-based panels, indie creators, and all of the fun of a virtual con for free. There's a little something for everyone while we support a cause close to our heart. Join us on January 20th through 22nd, along with celebrity guests Amy Yazbek, Jason Bear, Chris Gaucher, Victor Garber, William Catt, Cress Williams, Beth Broderick, Armin Shimmerman, Guy Gilchrist, Carrie Schaefer, Brian Hull, Amy Carrero, Jennifer Cody, and Joyce DeWitt.
Look at my Star Trek toy!